Now, before we even begin this video on project management processes, I want to start with a health warning. And that health warning is, this topic has the potential to blow your mind. Now, I wanted to say this up front so that you're not surprised when I show you the mind-blowing list of project management processes, but by the end of this video, my goal is to make sure that your brain is not exploding. So, a process is a series of steps that we take in order to achieve a particular result. And one way of thinking about it is that the purpose of project management is to move the project through its life cycle by executing a series of processes. Now, that sounds sensible enough. For example, one process might be determine the budget, or another one might be monitor risks. So yes, I can see that these are processes that need to be done in project management, but the trouble is that there are loads and loads of processes in the PMBOK, and so to help us sort them out, they've been organised into groups. You can see them here. There are 5 of them in the blue text. These are known as project management process groups. So I think you can see that the determine budget process would belong in the planning group. Yeah, I can see that's something we do as part of the planning. And the monitor risks process would belong in the monitoring and controlling group. So if we were to organise all of these processes into a table, then the process groups would be the column headings. But this is where I have to break the news to you that there are 49 processes that the project manager and their team might use to move the project along. Yes, you read that right, 49 processes. And if you are interested in certification from the PMI, you will need to be pretty familiar with them. The exam will test you on them, and that's why this has the potential to blow your mind. But don't worry, I'm going to help you. So yes, 49 processes, but to help us further organise them in this table that I'm building, we've got some row headings which kind of categorise the specific area of knowledge that they apply to. You can see them down the left-hand side, and these are known as knowledge areas. You'll see that they are all something management, so schedule management or resource management, etc. So thinking of those 2 example processes that we talked about a second ago, we know that determine budgets fits into the planning process group, so we know what column to put it in, but which row, which knowledge area does it belong to? Well, the answer is going to be cost management, so that process goes just here on the table. And the other one was monitor risks, which belongs in the monitoring and controlling process group. And looking down the left-hand side at those knowledge areas, well, it's going to belong in the risk management area, so that's where I'm going to put that process. So that's just 2 examples. There are another 47 processes which slot into this table somewhere. And could I just emphasise that I do not expect you to understand what all of these processes actually mean at this stage. We've got a whole course ahead of us to find out about all of that, but I would like you to start getting really familiar with this table from the PMBOK guide. And to help you with that, I do have some homework for you. So I've created a document for you, which you will find in the supplemental files which accompany this skill. So go ahead and download that, but let me talk you through what I want you to do. Now, this is a 6-page document, and I'm imagining that you'll want to print it out if you can. If you can print it out on bigger paper, that would be amazing. But the first page here is the complete table, with the process groups across the top and the knowledge areas down the side, and all 49 processes are filled in for your reference. So here, for example, is the determine budget process that we used as one of our examples, and you'll see that there are actually another 2 processes in that same box. But page 2 is where the fun starts. You'll see that I've removed the processes and just left lines in their place. So what you're going to do is you're going to fill in these gaps, but with these lines, at least you know how many processes you're looking for in each box, because on the next page, I've got the complete list of processes, ordered alphabetically. So what I want you to do is to look at this list and see if you can work out which box on the table each one should go into. So for example, number 9 here, control schedule. I reckon that should go into the monitoring and controlling group in the schedule management row. Yeah. So you could either write in control schedule, if you can write really small, but I'm just going to write in the number 9 and then go back to the list and cross that one off. So some of them will be really obvious, and that's fine. At this stage, I'm just getting you familiar with the table, but others are less obvious. So having checked off the easy ones, you're going to be left with quite a few on the list that you're not quite sure where they should go, but there is another clue to be aware of. So say number 30 here, manage team. That's a smaller number of characters than many of the processes, so you're looking for a shorter line on the table. So use the line length as a clue. Manage team isn't going to go here, for example, because that line is far too long. And then obviously when you're done, check your answers using the completed table on page 1. But There's more. On the next page, you'll see we've got an empty table with no black lines to tell you how many processes should be in each box, but I have told you how many there should be in each row and each column. So in the closing group, for example, I know there's only one thing in this column, but I don't know what row it should go into, so that does make it quite a bit harder. But again, use the numbered list here and check them off once you've placed them, and I think you will be surprised at how many you can put in the right place, and of course the ones that you don't get right, you can correct them and hopefully get it in the right place next time. So that's what I would like you to do for your homework. But note that on the next couple of pages I've given you the table again with fewer and fewer clues, so if you are interested in certification from the PMI, you can carry on and repeat this exercise to test your knowledge. But to be honest, I'd probably leave these harder variations of the exercise until after we've talked about these different knowledge areas as we progress through this course. For now, all I'm asking is that you fill in the table on page 2 in order to familiarise yourself with this wonderful table of the 49 project management processes.